Hello, I'm your host Charlie Kang, and I'm part of the prayer community here at Waverley Abbey, living on site and continuing over 1400 years of Christian prayer and worship on this holy and ancient site. This is the Journal of a New Generation, a brand new podcast from Waverley Abbey. Have you ever found yourself saying, well, I didn't see that coming? Perhaps it feels like you're perpetually at a crossroad where the very next decision to be made is seemingly more important than the one before. Those decisions may be personal to you, or it may be about finding a way through the overwhelming cultural crossroads we find ourselves in today. There are so many big questions that don't always have a simple black and white answer, and we are pulled and pushed from one side to another where holding the correct tension is becoming more difficult than ever before. I know my life so far has been full of curveballs, which has often left me disorientated and at times somewhat disillusioned. I'd love to say that I walked through every chaotic moment in my life with a smile and a quiet trust in God. But the truth is that while sometimes I grew in hearing God's voice clearer and becoming shaped more in His likeness, a lot of the other times I was definitely shaped more by the confusion and the complex emotions which haven't always left me looking more like Jesus. Despite the various painful disappointments, I know that there is still a deep longing within all of us to continue to become more like Him, in loving God, in loving others, and in living fully into whatever the purpose God has for us at this moment in time. In Jeremiah 6:16, God says, stand at the crossroad and look. Ask for the ancient paths and where the good way is, and walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls. So in this 6-part series, we are going to explore some of the paths that Jesus walked whilst here on this earth, ways of being and living that have continued throughout Christian traditions and generations. I'll be speaking with friends, old and new, who will be sharing their own experiences of disorientation and how the ancient ways of Jesus that have stood the test of time, such as prayer, living missionally to share the good news of Jesus, and embracing creativity, amongst other things, have helped place a guardrail in remaining faithful to Jesus Christ.
That question is a good question. It's always troubled me somewhat.
I'll also be speaking and asking some of those burning questions to my friend and colleague Jason Clark, the principal of Waverley Abbey College and a pastor of 25 years, but more importantly, someone I feel safe bringing these questions to. Our prayer is that this podcast will encourage and inspire all of us to continue walking through the chaos of our lives and the world we're living in, to encounter God in the midst of it all and be transformed by Jesus for our sake and for the sake of the world around us. Perhaps this can be our journal as we journey together. So please subscribe and share with a friend.